Here at Chesterfield, we care about our fans and we care about your lungs. That's why we recommend Inspired Vapor Co.
Inspired Vapor Co. is like Cat Stevens, a father and son company. They want everyone to drop the darts and pick up the vape.
Tired of sucking on that old Dilk stick?
Make sure to go to inspiredvaporcompany.com and use the promo code Moose10 for your discount today.
Get yourself a vape.
Hey everyone, I'm Cordell Anderson, aka Tom Foolery.
I'm Big Spoon Honey Daddy.
I'm Sister Sadie.
And I'm Melvin Pelvis. And we're Chesterfield. Thanks.
Welcome to the 94th episode of the Sit Down Podcast.
Boom. I like it. So welcome to the show, you guys. Thank you for joining us this evening. How in the hell are you?
Great.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Doing pretty
Right
good.
on. Right on. So we met through Kit from Old Souls at the Cap one night. What the hell? Was that the 7 Mile Sun show? Who was
That
playing
was-
that night?
That was Rose.
Yeah, Joel
CD
Rose.
release.
Oh,
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so Kit introduced me and he's like, hey, these guys kick so much ass. You should have them on the show. So I was like, I trust Kit, right? So I was like, you guys want to come on? This is what we're doing. And you guys are all about it. That's awesome.
Kit's awesome. Yeah, Old Souls. We saw him out at Doyle Fest. That was our first time seeing them as a band.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of know Kit from Swift Current and around there when he was down there. So yeah, he's a good guy. Great band.
Yeah. We were
Hell
playing,
yeah.
out in Swift Current, I think in the summer before COVID, and at a buffalo ranch, and Kit was one of the guys in the crowd, and we saw him, and it was kind of like instant, like, oh yeah, we like that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was the first guest to come on the show in-house, right? When we invited him on, he's like, we didn't even have to say a Zoom call or anything. He's like, yeah, where are you guys at? Like, I'll take a drive out there. And we're just like, oh, okay. Like something new, something different. Right on. Yeah, I love that guy. I miss him. I miss you, Kit. I know you're watching, buddy.
Come back.
We love you. Come back.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into it. I want to get, like I told you prior to recording here, you guys, like, we don't do any prep. Like, I watched your YouTube videos today. Mark was doing a little deeper dive than I was.
Deeper dive, as in I probably heard one more song than you.
One
did.
more song than I did. But I want to know things in general, like where you guys, where did you originate from? How did you guys find each other? Like, give me an origin story, if you will.
Well, probably the most cohesive aspect to how we met each other was actually the Ness Creek Music Festival. We're all from different parts. None of us, well, Eric's from Saskatoon, but I grew up in Edmonton. I spent my first 25 years there. Justin over there is from Swift, and Cage is from Canistano. So the one place that we all kind of were able to come together was Ness Creek, and that's how I met really all of you guys, was at Ness Creek.
Yeah.
And so I ended up moving to Saskatoon from Edmonton because the Edmonton music scene, it's really good for electronic music and it's really good for metal. But if you're looking to be kind of in a groovy kind of Grateful Dead type band, it's not great. You're always stuck opening up for metal artists and stuff. And I had a great time doing that, but I moved here because I knew the music scene was a lot better. You have Wide Mouth Mason came out of here, and the Deep Dark Woods and the Sheepdogs are a huge one for us and stuff like that. So I moved here, and I basically was calling all the guys and people that I met at Ness Creek, and we'd have these giant 13, 14 person electric jams where we'd have 2 drum sets set up and
Nice.
guitars, a bunch of singers, and we kind of whittled it down from there, and the result was this group of people here.
Yeah, they were
And-
pretty crazy at the start there. Hey,
Probably
Tell
not
me,
a
tell
ton.
me, there's footage of those 14 people jamming
Oh,
together.
like cell
There-
phone
yeah,
videos.
there might be some really
Yeah.
shitty
But
footage,
oddly
but
enough, it was a lot of ska.
yeah,
Which none of us like play ska, but we had like one buddy that was really into it.
Yeah.
ska, yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna pause here a sec on the one mic there. I'm not sure because can we turn the one microphone up a little bit?
Muse Canada is a new arts and entertainment media connection and support network. Skip the algorithms of social media and connect with other entertainment professionals across Canada. Sign up today for just $5 a month.
Or you guys can use promo code FunkyMoose2021 and get 10% off membership. Right on. So fucking ska, hey? We had Mini Vandal on a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. That kind I did a little deep dive into some ska for about a week or two because of them. That was I'm actually a fan. I'm surprisingly a fan of ska music too. I like the vibe it's
I
putting
mean,
out there.
You listen to No Doubt.
You know, I never really did. I'm not really
are you?
into No Doubt. They're all right. Meh.
All right.
I don't
I'm
know.
a big Sublime guy, but that's about the extent of my ska. Real Big Fish is good with me too.
So is
Yeah.
okay, so is Sublime, is that ska?
It's I think like some ska purists might disagree with me when I say, because there's a lot of punk elements in it too. Like
Right.
it's like they lean kind of more in the punk side of ska than the reggae side, but yeah, I'd call him ska. I mean, I grew up calling him ska.
All right, then I take that back.
Okay.
I take that back then. Yeah, so you guys okay, what year was that at Nest Creek when you guys kind of got together?
Oh, 2017.
2017, I'd like to
Yeah,
I
say.
remember
yeah.
probably 2016. I met Cordell and we jammed literally all night until the sun came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was at the Bluegrass Festival there, and like you know, so that was about the era that I was really, you know, dabbling with moving to Saskatoon and thinking about moving there. And so I was going to like every festival at Nest Creek I could, because that was kind of my access to the Saskatoon music scene, because I've been going there for years. And so I went to the Bluegrass Festival, and you know, like I've been playing rock and punk music. I was in like punk bands in high school and stuff, so I don't know anything about bluegrass. And you know, I met Eric there, and we got in trouble because we were playing rock music and not bluegrass music. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a no-no.
Yeah, but actually Kasia, that's where that Bluegrass Festival is where Kasia got a lot of her start, right?
Yeah, I used to be in a bluegrass band called In With the Old. And so we all met at the Bluegrass Festival way back in like 2010. Like we were 13, 14, like young kids. And then we were together for a long time. We kind of moved more into the mamas and papas kind of stuff. So a bit more folky, psychedelic. And then we ended up going on a break. And like right when we had decided that, we're like, okay, let's do one more year and then take a break, because we were like all graduating and all that life stuff. And then I met Cordell.
Yeah.
And we were dating.
Also, oddly enough, too, I think it was at like one of your very last shows. I didn't even know you yet.
Yeah.
I went to Doyle Fest too. I think that was like the second Doyle Fest.
Yeah.
And
that's
yeah.
one of our last ones.
Yeah.
So you were planning to take a break
Yeah. but
and
then-
and do life things, and then you thought, screw life, let's do this music thing.
Yeah, well, I got a boyfriend too, and then
I guess that's life. Yeah.
so he ended up moving in with me at my place, and I had a nice big basement that didn't have anything in it. So we created a big jam space and started inviting people over all the time. That's those 13-person jams.
Oh man, that'd be fun.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
We've been thinking about brushing off the format and getting a couple more 13-person jams going lately.
Yeah.
We kind of had a hankering now that COVID's kind of on the backslide a bit.
We're just
Right.
gonna get 8 or 9 people with triangles, I think. and that's
Oh dude,
the
count me
extent
in,
of our
man.
13.
I
Count
can keep
me
the beats.
in.
I'll be there.
Sure, yeah.
Sweet. So okay, since like Saskatchewan is kind of like, I guess, eased up a little bit with the, well, eased up, but they're allowing venues with double vax and proof of negative testing. How many gigs like have you guys been able to get out there and do some performing?
Yeah,
we've had a couple.
Yeah, we've had a couple. So we didn't play a lot in the summer, but we played at a venue called Agar's Corner in September, and that was like, you know, an interesting outdoor venue outside of town. They kind of retrofitted into like a rock venue, and it was really cold.
Yeah.
But then more recently, we just had a build show at the Capitol, and that was pretty good actually. It was the same night as the Garys and Wolf Willow, so we like a lot of people went to that show because those are two just awesome bands, and you know, it was a big cool party. But yeah, like that ended up being a really good show with a band from Hatford, Saskatchewan called the Bros G, and just like to pump them a bit, like they're like possibly the biggest band in Saskatchewan that no one knows about yet. Like they're the tightest band I think I've seen.
Yeah,
in Saskatchewan.
They're pretty wicked. Yeah.
Freaking rights. I just saw the Garys the other night at
Amigos.
the not
Amigos.
Breakout West, but
Amigos.
the Back to Live.
Amigos.
Yes, at Amigos. That's where it
Right,
was at.
right.
That's what I said 4
Yeah.
times.
I can't hear you in my headset. Yeah, that was such a good night. We actually just had them on the show like this week that we're recording with you. Gary's episode is out. That's when I found out they were playing at Amigos, so I got tickets right away. It was a free show, man. Hell yeah.
Cool.
It was
Yeah.
it was so good. So I went and I actually got to meet them in person and got myself an autographed record, a vinyl, which I didn't even show you yet. I know. It's funny. I got a little collection of records going, and I don't even have a record player, man. It's like the guests that we have on that have vinyl out. I'm just like, please get. I would love an autographed
I
copy.
just keep pushing vinyl on him, and he's like, "Yeah." Sure,
Mark's been trying to sell me a record player for about 5 years now.
I kind of gave up. If he wants one, he'll come get.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I know a guy for that. But yeah, no, that was an awesome show for sure. How do you like playing at the Cap, you guys?
It's good.
Yeah.
I like their new sound guy, Colin Clausen.
Yeah.
He's just phenomenal. Really quick and like just
Yeah.
so in tune with everything, like all his gear.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right.
Anything you really need, he's just right there with it, looking out for you. So
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's a nice venue. That post kind of in the middle of the dance floor, I think, is a pretty common criticism. But aside from that, yeah, we're all about it.
Yeah.
It's a little weird playing in COVID times though, because there's this huge like plexiglass sheet in front of the stage. So you just get like a mirror image of your own band when you're playing. But
Oh, I guess so. Hey, because of the lights.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's also
it's really
protection
strange.
from projectile beer bottles though. So
Does that happen?
not yet. But
Yeah, you also
better to be prepared.
The reflection's kind of nice as a drummer though, because I don't have to wait for the rest of the band to turn around to look at me. I can
yeah.
just look at
Tie everybody up, just
Ah,
looking
nice.
straight forward. Yeah.
Interesting.
You can critique yourself too. You're just like, what do I look like? Do I look a little robotronic or what?
I was
That's
just thinking,
hilarious.
it's like being in front of the mirror again when you were 5 years old, singing in the
Right.
hairbrush.
Right? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Or in
Frickin'
my
right.
case, every day.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on.
So where does the name Chesterfield come from?
Well, so
Uh,
originally we were doing open stages. We did open stages kind of all over the place. We went to the Black Cat and the Capitol and a couple more around town. And we were going as Melvin Pelvis and the Bavarian Creamers. And yeah,
That's usually the reaction.
the guy running the open stage, he could never get it right. We would go there like almost every week, and every week he'd get it wrong. So the one week we were just sitting in the green room there, and we're like, well, like we were all sitting on a Chesterfield and got this idea, just like, what if we just go up there and like he's gonna struggle with the name Melvin Pelvis and the Bavarian Creamers, so we'll let him struggle, and then we'll go up there and just say something simple like Chesterfield. So
That's how it started.
Yeah, that's basically how it started. And yeah, we've kind of called ourselves Chesterfield since then.
Pretty much. And well, and there's a little tinge of Canadiana in it too, because from what I understand, Chesterfield is like the name Chesterfield for a couch is like a Canadian phenomenon. Like it's what only people in Canada call it, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember specifically too, like I wasn't in the band yet. I was just dating the drummer at the time. And they were all like sitting there mulling, and I remember I said it because I was like, you guys, like all you do is hang out and play music. Like you'll like have some beers on the couch and then go play the guitars. So why not like Chesterfield? Because that's like the other half of what you do.
Sit on your ass and drink beers. Cool, man.
So have you talked to Joel Rose at all? Because with your name, it's kind of a no-brainer that you should play
Chesterfest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a little bit. We were on the lineup before COVID.
Oh.
And then they had to postpone that year. And then I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, it seems like a match made in heaven. There's often people come up to us and be like, hey, we've heard of you guys, Chesterfest, right? Like it's people have only loosely heard of Chesterfest and maybe not have heard of us and think we're Chesterfest.
Free advertising.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be honest, I've done that a couple times in the last few weeks. It's like, okay, who do we got on? Oh yeah, Chesterfest. Okay, and then I'm like, no, that's not right. And then I gotta kind of look it up again.
Got the whole damn festival on there.
Frick. So yes, I'm guilty of that as well. All right, so no, that's awesome. That's funny about the cap and the glass, but that was what, a week or two ago? Correct me if I'm wrong.
2 Saturdays ago. Yeah.
Yeah, November 6th or something. I don't know.
Something
around there. Yeah. In one of those
Right on.
days.
And so how has it been to come out of the pandemic and then get back out there? Like, have you guys been able to jam throughout the pandemic and like kind of keep the vibe going? Or was it like everyone took a break and then you kind of had to come back and get that niche again?
Well, half the band lives together, so.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the thing when COVID hit. We were kind of like, shit, what do we do now? And there was a bit of a panic, like because they were like, I wasn't in the band yet. They were, or was I?
You were, yeah.
At that point,
I was
yeah.
in the band. And they're like, well, what are we gonna do? Because we had a lot of progress going on. We were really starting to get our name out there, and then bam, can't do anything. So then we kind of sat on that for the month of March, and then we were just like, hey, you guys want to live together? Because like we're all students, and they would be cool.
Right?
To all live together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to social
Awesome.
distance quite as much within ourselves, as
Yeah.
long as
Yeah.
we're being all right out in public.
So we moved to this house close to the university, and there's like a huge backyard, and kind of like, I guess in a way the 13-person jams never really stop, because we have 4 Chesterfields in our backyard around a big fire pit, and on any given night in the summer there's a lot of people out there jamming, and we have old Joan living on one side of us, and she loves us, and she doesn't have any problem with us playing all night, and an old vacant lot on the other side, so we could be howling all night.
Oh, freaking right.
Perfect.
Old Joan. That sounds like a song title.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Old Joan.
Joan and old Janine.
Yeah, there's another old lady across the street, Janine, and the two of them are friends. So we have their theme song. It's
Old Janine and old Joan. You think they're funny, but they're out to get your money.
It's conspiring in the street all the time.
Yeah.
I know they're planning something, I swear.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes Joan will just like creep through the trees. We got like a layer of trees instead of a fence. So we're having like a fire, playing music or something. She'll just kind of like creep through the trees and then
Like Homer
start
Simpson,
clapping
yeah.
at the end of our song. Joan, what are you doing there? Didn't think we had an audience.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joan. We love you.
Shout out to Joan. Yeah.
I had a neighbor like that
Yeah.
in our house next door when we lived there. You know who I'm talking about? The neighbor that lives on that side. Yeah. We also had have a tree or bush line.
Yeah.
And we were out in the backyard having a fire, and then all of a sudden you look around and then there's a neighbor standing in that bush line. It's like, oh fuck, what are you doing here? And then he kind of, you know, he notices that we notice. He's like, oh, hi, and then he fucks off.
That's hilarious.
Uh,
Right on.
The neighborhood reception's been really good. Like one time we were out in the backyard jamming till like 6 a.m, like all night jam. And the next day we actually got like a little handmade letter in our mailbox that said, "Loved the music, keep it up." And so we have that up on our now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes the
right.
neighbors are just out there and we're like, oh no, we're pissing off the neighbors. And then they come over and they say, oh yeah, love the music. So yeah, there's not a lot
That's amazing.
yeah, not a lot of people who are like that, who are just open and accepting. But I guess it
Yeah.
is kind of a pretty musical neighborhood. A lot of times, like on a nice summer night, you can hear the faint sound of like either a flute or a fiddle coming. Like I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
It's on the other side of Joan's house, unless it is Joan. Yeah, that's one thing.
She's
Could be
got
Joan.
Oh, there's a conspiracy. I bet you it's Joan.
Yeah, it might be Joan.
That's wicked. You should send me a picture of that letter and I'll put a little blip here, like right here.
Yeah, hell yeah. You got it up on
Okay.
the fridge. Yeah.
Over here?
I'll put it like right here.
Right here.
Just a little. tink.
Okay, so we're pointing at it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, isn't that amazing when you've got like the support of your neighbors? Like, just think of it if it was the other way, where they're always like telling you to shut the fuck up or whatever, right? And screaming at you, like, oh, that gets to you after a while, right? It's like, holy fuck, do we suck or something? Like, what's the problem?
That's the thing
I
too. I have people here like, "Oh, you're a rock band. Like, how does that go in your house?" And we're like, "Actually, we've had no complaints. We've never had cops called for noise violations. Like, it's been amazing here." But we are a little concerned because they're building a house in that vacant lot, and they're gonna move in any day now, and they don't look nice.
Yeah.
They had a wine cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
put a
have-
wine cooler, like a nice $10,000 wine cooler in there. So we're kind of worried
We're
about
like,
that.
"Oh no, they don't."
So they have a wine cooler, so they must be assholes.
Yeah. They're stuck up.
Yeah,
Right
If it was
on.
a big beer fridge, we'd be like, oh yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm actually, so to get back to the neighbors, like, remember when we did Moose Fest
Yeah.
and we really only got one comment that was like, oh, they were partying up till six in the morning.
Yeah, but that wasn't like, they were just being smartasses. Like,
Yeah, and it
sarcastic.
wasn't even really negative.
No, they were just like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
damn kids again,
yeah.
kind of thing.
But I mean, I don't think we.
Well, we could. There was no reason or means for it because we were in Bellevue Hall, so it's not like it was an outdoor festival and that it.
I used to live across the hall. You can hear the music from the hall
Yeah,
easily.
but it was good music though. That's why there was no.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're playing good music, there's no complaints, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So do you guys have any like other shows in the like coming up that we can maybe give a shout out to, promote a little bit?
We don't have anything on the docket right now. We actually have a show that's been pending. Like it was like originally set for May 2nd, 2019.
Not 2020.
2020,
'cause it
sorry.
got canceled.
But it got
COVID.
canceled because of COVID. And it was we were gonna be playing with the Garys in North Battleford. But but we've talked to the promoter and apparently it's still gonna happen. It just hasn't been the date hasn't been rebooked yet. But
Mhm.
yeah, right
yes.
now we're mostly focusing on recording our album right now.
Right on. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, but before we do that, you mentioned ska, you mentioned Grateful Dead.
Yeah, we
So-
haven't even said what we do yet. eh? So I would say we're a genre hopping psychedelic rock band.
Yeah.
So like we're based in rock, but there's definitely like surf elements, country, like outlaw country elements.
Yeah.
Folk for sure.
Folk.
Even a bit of that like Edmonton hard rock stuff.
Yeah, I bring the Edmonton edge to it a bit.
Yeah, it's a nice balance. I think like it's nice with the genre hopping because like at the show you're never like bored or pegged into like one sound. It's got a good amount of variety, so there's something for everyone to like.
Yeah, we're definitely big fans of a band called Ween. If you guys have heard of them, and they're just, if you know them, like they have a country album, but then the first song on their next album will be like a hardcore punk song, and they do it quite well. So we, in a lot of ways, we model ourselves after them to be able to jump from playing a country song to a hard rock song to like a funk song with Eric playing the saxophone. Like Eric's our bass player, but he also, for a couple songs every show, he's also a phenomenal saxophone player. We get him on the sax to play like some more funky numbers to get people up dancing and stuff.
Freaking right,
Cool.
man.
I like that. Wait, who did we talk to? Where we were also talking about, I don't really like it when an artist is in a box.
Mhm.
Don't remember who it was, but I referenced Zach Brown, who that must have been with Caitlin
Leonard.
Yeah. So when you say you're genre hopping, I like that, because sometimes there's a song that I don't like, but then the next song is probably awesome.
Right. So when you guys listen to albums, do you listen to it start to finish, or do you go straight to a single track?
Both.
Yeah, a lot of it start to finish for me.
Yeah.
Like one thing I've been kind of diving into recently is like kind of going on like artist binges in a way, like where like I'll start at their say very first album and listen to the whole first album, kind of just go on through the time and kind of check out all of their stuff. So it's in a sense listening to one album front to back, but you're listening to all of their stuff front to back. So
Right.
kind of a cool way to do it as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think the best way to kind of understand like what we do is like where we all come from. So like for me, I came from bluegrass, but like, so I bring definitely like a lot more of a folk kind of vibe, and I like had to learn rock and roll. And then Justin, like, who are your main artists?
Yeah, like even just in my family, like my dad played, my dad's an awesome guitar player and musician as well, and he was always playing like the Beatles and the Eagles, and like I was really loving like the classic rock and that kind of vibe. And yeah, and like Spoon over here, he's more like he's into the funk. And what else you got?
The whole funk and nothing but the funk. Yeah, I come from a background in jazz music for sure. Like I played bari sax with a number of big jazz bands around Saskatoon for years. So that's where I kind of built chops in my early days, but definitely into more like funky stuff.
And for me, it was a lot of like hard rock, so a lot of Sabbath kind of stuff and harder rock stuff, and then some Beatles. But also my dad's also a musician, like he's a drummer just like me, and he played in a lot of like blues bands, like southern blues kind of bands. So I have lots of memories like of being a kid and sneaking out to the bars that he was playing at and watching him from outside, and stuff like that.
Nice.
I couldn't get in, but so yeah, like it's a pretty big group there. Like typically, like the way I describe it to a lot of people is if the band has a bass, a guitar, and a drummer and a singer and harmonies, like we'll do that genre of music.
Right.
At least attempt it. Yeah.
Did you know that Adele asked Spotify to remove the shuffle button?
Oh yeah. Yeah. At first
So that you have to like play it in its entirety, right?
Yeah, there is a way around it, but yeah. So she didn't want, because she put time and effort into the sequence of the album.
I kind of respect that. I think that makes makes a lot of sense.
So
to
she
me.
told Spotify, can you just get rid of that shuffle button? And they were like, yeah, sure. So now there's no more shuffle button on her new album.
Yeah, well,
but you
especially
can still,
especially for like something like an album, like shuffling an artist is one thing, or shuffling a playlist is one thing, but like shuffling like an album is kind of like psychotic almost.
Oh, it's
in a way,
terrible.
Because it's like like for an album it's a picture of time, and we're putting a lot of thought into how we're gonna order our album. So if someone was to just press shuffle on it, it'd be like a lot of our kind of artistic input out the window kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Now you know.
And in like a sense, that's kind of like how it was back, like when CDs weren't a thing, because like CD players still had the shuffle button. You could still
Yeah.
shuffle on a CD player, but can't really do that with a record player. You gotta move the needle to each song if you
Yep.
memorize the position of each
Yep.
song. But like that's a little you
Yeah.
teach
Or a
it.
cassette where you have to like
Yeah,
s-
fast forward.
press the button
Yeah.
and hold it for like fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah, you really have to
Yeah.
commit to listening to that. song.
Yeah, you gotta commit if you want to do it
Listen
there.
to it like 20 times.
Yeah, you know it just as good backwards as forward.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do we
No,
all
yeah.
have
So let's talk a little bit about getting the album ready. Like, how far into it are you guys right now?
So we got a 9-song album. We decided like we wanted an odd number, and 9 was around the amount we want. So we got most of the guitars done. We got most of the drums done, although I am gonna do a couple more drums. So we really only have to get the bass and our harmonies done. So like another thing that we haven't really touched on in this band is we're a band of 3 lead singers, like me, Kasia and Justin. We all split vocals kind of evenly, about 33% for each show. So one, real beneficial part of that is we're always harmonizing with each other too. So almost every song features 3-part harmonies. So though we have like, what could be considered a majority of the tracks done, like doing the harmonies is going to be kind of a bit of a difficult thing, because it's where you really want to be dialed in. You really want the inclination in everyone's voice to be, complementary. So it's going to be a lot of kind of rinse and repeat and record and then do it again for the harmonies, just to make sure we got it perfect.
Yeah. Well, and that's like also the other thing with just doing it ourselves too. We're sitting here, we're doing it, and there's not like external feedback really. So we're just kind of like going off of what we know, and like we
What
all have
you
a
guys
really
like,
really
yeah.
good taste and like how it should sound, but like still like the external feedback is a big thing that speeds up the process as well. But yeah, I don't know, it's definitely going well. We're rolling, and it's gonna be out before you know it.
Yeah.
And by external feedback, you mean from a producer?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
An engineer. Yeah. And like we're still gonna have that. Like we've talked to Brody Moniker about mixing our album, and he's like gonna give us some advice and stuff about it. But like it's a bit different having that like after the fact that you've recorded than like during. Like, and I think one kind of positive aspect about this style of recording, where we're just doing it ourselves in our nice relaxing living room, is we're going to sound like relaxed and organic in the recordings. Like it's going to sound like we're relaxed players, and we're not trying to beat the clock in a studio kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh shit, I got to get this done because
Yeah.
we have 3 hours left in our
Yeah.
studio time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Freaking rights.
I like it.
So when you guys do the harmonies, when you're recording those, so then is it all 3 of you like singing together, or do you do one and then try and go off playback and harmonize with the playback, or how do you guys do that?
Ooh, that would be kind of fun to do the 50s
Yeah.
style with
Well,
the mic just hanging,
Yeah.
all
that-
of us around it.
And like that'd be nice for matching up also, when because you're reading each other's lips and you kind of know exactly the articulation that's coming, rather than
Right.
just listening to it. Like in the
Fucking nice.
past, we've done just kind of like garage recordings. Yeah, so like with Morning in the Midday, we kind of did that one live off the floor. We just got the mix track and we did everything basically live. And then but just with some other recordings that we've just kind of screwed around with, where we do the harmony separate, and definitely doing it like as a group recording is a little bit easier to line up things, rather than trying to match it in your recording track already. But that's one thing that we're still kind of deciding for this album with the recording, on how we're gonna model the harmonies.
Yeah, in all likelihood, it'll be like a bit of a hybrid model where it's you know, some songs will be us around a mic, and then the other ones will be, you know, individual. Kind of depends on how complicated the harmony is. So a more complicated harmony will likely be us all standing together. But if it's a simple harmony, just for like ease of production, it'll probably be singular kind of
Oh,
thing.
fuck yeah.
Oh fuck
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's another thing. So our band has a lot of we I guess you'd call them memes. Like in
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna get modern with it.
yeah. But yeah, a big one
I
is
noticed
like,
that. I noticed that in some of the YouTube comments that I think it was the road trip that you did to Nelson.
Oh yeah.
Chesterfield
It
tour
was
1986.
some who approved it.
Oh, Glen Safari.
Glen
That must
Safari.
have been Glen Safari.
Yeah.
No, it was
I want to see right now.
All right.
Yeah, so like
Yeah, we kind of have this thing going on. It's called like the Chesterverse, where everybody's got like a name. We got our kind of circle of friends, and anybody who kind of comes into the circle of friends, we kind of dub them with a Chesterverse name.
yeah.
So that's
Oh.
kind of where our names come from, like Melvin Pelvis and Sister Sadie and Big Spoon Honey Daddy and Tom Foolery.
Yeah.
That's kind of where that comes from.
We probably have
love
close to 100 of them by now. We have a fella named Glen Safari, got a guy named Buck Chow,
Uncle Histamine.
Uncle Histamine,
Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Necro Nance.
that's the one. 100%
Birdshaw.
Uncle Histamine approved.
Yeah,
Uncle
that's the
Histamine.
one.
Yeah, there you go.
Good old Uncle.
Yeah.
So
my-
it's you know it's fun, and it's an endless source of riffing, right? Like because a
And
lot of
and Dilk.
Dilk.
Oh,
Yeah. Dilk.
So
Dog
Dilk-
milk.
You never had it?
yeah. Dilk's one that arose. So we were driving out to play a show in Nelson, BC, and it was me, Kasia, and Justin, and we were in like an old Dodge Grand Caravan, and I like it had winter tires on it, but they were like it was like definitely their last season. Like I should probably get new tires this season, kind of thing. And it was like the worst snowfall of the year. Like I'm talking like it was like a foot of snow at least, right?
Oh,
So
yeah,
we're
100%.
driving white knuckling, and you know we just got to Alberta, and there's a big valley, a big dip in this valley. Oddly enough, the Chesterfield Bridge, it's called. And so we're really stressed, and we just start riffing on dog milk as a way to cope with this stress. And
There was a reference to Family Guy.
yeah,
Right.
when
Yeah.
There's an episode where Lois is like, "Look what they're serving at daycare," and then Brian, the dog, comes in and he goes, "Oh fuck yeah, Dilk," and then he drinks it.
Ah.
So then, like, I had like said something about that in the car, and then we just started riffing on it.
And that thing went like that. It went the whole trip. Like every like 2 minutes, there was something about Dilk, and it went further than the trip too. It was like
oh yeah,
a
you
year
can
thing. We
extend
st-
it
we
to
still
today.
we
Yeah.
still do it. I still like write Dilk on the back of my vehicle, either in the dust or like in the snow. I don't know.
Oh, that's what we
Dilk is
can call this episode. Let's call it Dilk.
Dilk. Yeah.
Dilk.
Dilkcast, yeah.
Yeah.
We but you know, so that's just like one example of like the many riffs we have, and like a big thing is like we're kind of comedians too a bit, but like a lot of this like translates into the lyrics of our songs too. So like you know, like we kind of know that a lot of these can kind of tread the line of inside jokes, and that's something we definitely don't want to do. So we incorporate a lot of these jokes and memes into our song lyrics so we can, you know, engage our audience. And that kind of goes with naming a lot of our fans too, is like it gets our audience engaged, and it gets them, you know, into the songs, and it gets them
For sure. Oh, I think that's fucking brilliant, man. That's genius.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what you have with YMH. All those references.
All the
It's kinda
references.
the
You have
same
to be a YMH fan to
to understand.
understand it.
Yeah.
Speaking of lyrics, I am gonna. It's for what it's worth. In Morning in the Midday, There is a lyric in there that I like. I was just listening to this a couple hours ago, and I'm still trying to fucking wrap my head around it because I feel like it means more than what it is. Like it just fucking kind of made my mind explode, and it was there's more to the
More to fire than getting burned.
More to fire.
Is that what
than
it is?
getting burned. Yeah.
That see, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because it's got me in such a fucking mind fuck right now that I'm just like, holy shit, that was some deep. It was just deep, man. And for whatever reason, that lyric it hit me pretty hard. I love it. I love that. I love that song.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
That's what I
Tell me
love.
about making that video.
So the video, we set up like 5 or something phone cameras just around the basement in Avo, the old house that they were in,
where we had the
The ska
13-person
jams.
jams. That's
Yeah,
the jam space. where
that
we had
was
them.
the place. And I don't know, we kind of like just oriented the cameras where we could. And then we had my lovely girlfriend Kendall Birdshaw. She was the moving camera. She had actually like a kaleidoscope glasses thing, and then she just put the phone camera right into the kaleidoscope glasses and got some of like the cool effects there.
Sweet.
And then I was also in like a video editing class at the university there. And like I'm not sure how much they'd like to hear this, but we kind of went into the computer lab when I was editing one of my projects, and I brought one of the other guys in, and we basically
Darren Mohan.
we had Darren Mohan, and
Reverend Darren Mohan.
he's one of our old members. He split around last September, but he was kind of behind making the actual video. So me and him worked on the editing there, and I don't know. We had everything through the soundboard with the Scarlett or something like that.
Our
And we had
interface.
like how 8 or 10
Yeah, one of
mics
those 10 input ones.
mic'd up, and we just recorded it live off the floor. And I don't know, basically we released it. We were feeling like we needed to release one of our songs, and out of all of them, that kind of like stood apart as the one we should put out as a single. So but and like I get back to that lyric, more to fire than getting burned. It's kind of like a reflection on my past, because I'm a little bit of a pyromaniac. I'm always lighting things on fire, but I've never got burned, and I've had a lot of fun. So that's like, everybody's saying don't play with fire because you get burned, but I think like that's one of the best things to do is play with fire, because you don't always get burned. And we got this thing that we do actually as a band called coal juggling.
Yeah.
So you reach into the fire, and you just real quick reach into the fire and grab one of the coals, and you juggle it around in your hands. You just toss it around, and as long as it's not touching your skin for too long, it won't burn you. So as long as it's always moving.
Yeah, and then you like throw it and
Yeah.
I catch it. and-
Chuck it to the next guy, and we're all just chucking around a burning ember.
That's
Don't
called
try this at
Oh.
home.
coal juggling.
Yeah.
Do you guys do that on stage? No.
Not yet.
If there's ever a fire on the stage, you can count on it.
I guess we,
campfire jam.
yeah, we kind of have, because like, it's not really an official stage or a sanctioned show or whatever, but we do a lot of playing around a fire. If there's a social gathering and there's a fire, we'll all have our instruments. I have a little drum set that fits inside a suitcase, and we'll be playing, and then we'll play a couple songs and do some cold juggling and play some more songs.
Yeah, cold
Kind of like
juggling,
one big
throat singing.
performance piece. Oh yeah, and throat singing too. We've gotten really into Mongolian throat singing. So in our Chesterverse, we call it the Chesterverse of all our names and memes and stuff. And it's kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons universe. I guess you could think about it that way. But
There's even a god.
there's even a god, and so it's our friend Stuart Lamoth from Big River was Bartholomew. And like we all follow him, and indeed every show we have a song we play called Bartholomew, and it's just like this Gregorian chant, like we're all like Bartholomew, and it's really weirds out the audience, but it's has a pretty good reaction.
Some real Shrek ass shit, if you will.
Real
Nice.
Shrek-ass shit. Yeah. And so yeah, he's kind of our guy, but he is really into throat singing. So we all got really into throat singing.
Yeah.
And, so like,
And he's got this weird, crazy jaw wiggle thing that he does that I don't think any of us have mastered
No,
yet.
I
no,
but
not yet.
Expert level, but-
So okay, wait. Can you give me a little example of this throat singing?
all
Oh,
right,
absolutely.
let's do a harmony throat sing.
Oh, I can harmonize.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do it.
Right on. So how long did it take to get that down?
It's honestly like a matter of it's something that you either like everyone can do it, but like it's like once you realize how you can do it, you unlock it. It's like, you know, a skill in a video game. Like once you figure out how to orient your throat, like you're off throat singing. It's like the learning curve is like a 90-degree angle essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so yeah.
But surprisingly, we're always getting better.
Yeah.
Like it's still something that, like, you know, has that crazy learning curve where you're all of a sudden at the top, but then, you know, you find yourself just getting better over time, and you can start to sing and change the pitch of it and all that.
Right.
But
That's I would suspect that's with everything. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not the 90-degree angle of it, but I mean, the more you do it, the better at it you're gonna get, right?
right.
There's this Mongolian metal band that does that too.
The Who.
The Who.
Yeah. What was your story about?
Oh
the Who?
yeah. So my boss, actually, over the summer, I was breeding canola, and my boss, like, he overheard that I was throat singing, because like I was a summer student, so we're all kind of joking around, and you know, you be quiet when the boss comes around. But the boss walks up to me and he's like, yeah, so I hear you can throat sing. And he's like, give me a little sample of that. So I showed him, and he's like, yeah, well, listen to this. The Who does a song with Papa Roach. I'm like, wait a second. Like The Who, from like the classic rock band,
Like the
The
British
Who.
invasion. Yeah. Out
Yeah,
here in the
like-
fields.
I'm like, get out.
Papa
They're doing a
Roach.
song with Papa Roach. So then he shows me, and it's like, yeah, the HU. And I was like, ghetto. So I was like riffing with him, like, no way, the Who, I love the Who. And I wasn't even talking to him about the right band. Yeah, and, they're actually pretty crazy band. And
Yeah.
come on, when we had a mouse infestation in our head, it just needed something to really get me going. So I was listening to them, and I had the bat, and I had a hatchet and all things to get rid of these mice. Yeah, I was just taking things apart looking for them, but
Yeah,
Should have
ripping
burnt
up
them. Lit a fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess the shed is made out of tin. We
Yeah.
definitely could have.
Just
It's an
heat 'em
idea
out.
if we have one again.
That's
Yeah, but we
fuck,
Now-
that's awesome.
took out
Now
the
you can fit it in
floorboards
nice
of the
and close.
shed. Oh, sorry.
Now you're just waiting for mice to show up so you can burn that shed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we took apart the floorboards in the shed, and there's like all these tracks and like these little tunnels and 2 nests in there. I found another nest in there, by the way.
Oh, really?
And there wasn't any in there, but yeah, I don't know. Those things are crazy. They go everywhere.
They're gross. They're gross as shit, man. Rats,
Yeah.
they get so big. Like freaking
Rats or mice? Did you
Oh,
have
well, if
rats
we
or
had a
mice?
rat, that'd be another problem. We just had
Yeah.
mice, but
There's-
Oh,
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
thinking rats.
But the thing is, we keep all our camping gear, like our tents and stuff, there. So we think they got cozy up. No good. I think we caught like 9 of them.
yeah, there's 9 or 10 of them that we caught, and we just used the normal mouse trap way. rather
Yeah,
than-
that's. I had mice in my garage here when, like, in the last couple months. I think we've caught 3 so far. But like, my garage is such a disaster right now. I can't even park my car in there. Like,
Do you-
it's.
Do you
Yeah.
use regular those snap mouse traps?
I want to say no, but yes. It's a yes to your question, but it's like it's not the ones we had like 20 years ago with the with the wire that comes. It's like some plastic kind of.
Oh, those are not cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the humane ones. Yeah, I
I
saw
guess
those
so.
ones
No.
down actually at the greenhouse store. They were selling them.
We have the old school wooden ones
Yeah.
with the snap
yeah.
thing, and
Those are rad, man.
yeah, my
Those are pretty good.
my oldest kid is like, oh, can I see when we catch one? Can I see? Because then the eyes might be bug-eyed.
Just drop it in the fish tank.
I should do that. Frickin' rights. Dude, I stepped on a mouse one time and it just went because the air pressure came out of it like so much that it like let out a little eek like on a cartoon. It was cool.
And
Yeah,
then it
you
was-
know all about
yeah.
the sounds of mice, eh, Cordell?
Oh yeah, so one made it into my room and he got away the first time. He won round one, but then like kind of he ran into my closet again. There's something in the closet that he liked. It's like a
Just
storage closet.
Reese wrapper, not even like with anything in it.
Yeah.
We found it after.
And so the second time I knew he was in there. So this time I really took the time to mouse proof everything, make sure he couldn't get away. And I put a board in front of the closet and he ran out and he actually pushed the board. But like kind of when he was kind of in the middle, I pushed it back and he's kind of gruesome and traumatizing, but he was like screaming and I was like, oh my fucking God. So I grabbed a bat and I dispatched him.
Wasn't it a rubber mallet?
No,
No,
it was like
it
a
was a wampum
it
stick.
was a wampum stick.
I
Yeah.
heard through the grapevine that it was a rubber mallet.
So
yeah.
you never know.
So then, yeah, I
we,
put him-
we had a roommate here, and we also had a mouse. We were both watching TV, and our roommate is from Mali, and he's as tall as I am, so 6'4", 6'5", and he was in his flip flops. Anyway, long story short, the mouse came out and he went all African warrior on that thing. He grabbed his flip flop and he just whacked the shit out of that mouse
With a flip flop.
Yeah,
And
with
he
a
got it.
flip-flop, yeah, he got him. Yeah,
Like it's not even a spider you're smacking with a flip flop. It's a damn mouse.
yeah. But it worked. Knocked him out and bye-bye mouse.
I'll have to show you after, but we have a chair in here that is like almost identical to the ones you have.
we do, and we're looking
And the
right
couch,
at
too.
it. Yeah, like it's like you
It's-
guys are right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Show you, like,
Why don't you tell them where you got these?
Uh,
Do you even know?
Grandparents'
What?
farm.
Warman.
Chesterfield connoisseurs. We're thinking about as a side business starting to sell couches because people expect it, you know. Oh, Chesterfield, your band, yeah, but we also sell couches.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a shoe-in.
also like one of the unexpected or I guess maybe expected after all side effects in being in a band called Chesterfield is everyone wants to give you their goddamn couch. Like we have
over 9 of them right
yeah,
now.
we
and-
started with 2 and we got 9 now.
Yeah,
And yesterday I was
more
thinking to
back
expand. We should maybe go up to like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I don't know if
But-
we could- you guys can't really see, but this room has 3 full couches and then a seat. Then we have a couch downstairs, and then 4 in the backyard.
Yeah.
But being the
Oh, no.
connoisseurs we are, we're very interested in where you got yours from.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji or whatever.
Mark's such a terrible storyteller. So bad.
That's where we got it from.
He's just blunt and to the point. Yeah, I bought it online. So what happened? So here's a little origin story of these chairs. So when Mark and I started the show, we started it.
Oh, you
just
want the long story?
on his
Okay.
on his couch over there. We didn't know what the frick we were doing. We were like, oh, let's give this a shot, right? And see what it evolves into. So really like the first 20 episodes, it's just Mark and I reading music news on his couch. And
Don't look those up. 'cause
yeah, there's
Oh,
they're all irrelevant
This
now
is
anyway.
really episode 75.
So then I don't know, it kind of got to a point where, we wanted some kind of studio type scenario. So then we put a table up in front of the TV and we had a Canadian flag in the back and we were just sitting in some office chairs. And then we ended up moving to this side of the room and we had the table here and we were kind of facing each other, but then doing the Zoom calls this way. And those, how office chairs are, right? They're so freaking uncomfortable, man. And I've got some physical shit going on with me where I'm getting old, I guess is what we could say. And it just came up where it was like, fuck, man, like it'd be nice to have somewhere's comfy where we can just, you know, I'm not uncomfortable half an hour into the show or whatever, and we can just kind of chill out all night. And then, yeah, Mark's wife just started looking online on like Facebook buy and sell. And how much were these? I think these were like $30 or something. Somebody was like,
No, it's $50 for the pair, I think.
$50
like
for
that.
the two of them out in Warman. So it was like, yeah, let's fucking bite the bullet on that instead of going and dropping a few $100 on a new chair, right?
Yeah.
So they went and picked it up and came straight in the basement. We didn't do squat with them. Like we were talking about, oh, maybe we should get like some covers on. This was my idea.
And
I
by
wanted to
we
get,
means him.
yeah, my idea, which I'm kind of past now, is I thought we should get them like reupholstered, recovered, but
yeah.
like my face on one and his face on the other, or else like the logo, half of the logo on one and half on the other. So when they're together, it made the whole logo or something like that. But I gotten accustomed to how they are already. And I really love them. It's got a cushion in the back here, as you know, because you're looking right at the same one, right?
Yeah.
Very
But
nice.
I freaking love these chairs, man. They're comfy.
Yeah.
I need a footrest though. I want a footrest.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So a few episodes ago, well, like 10 or 15 episodes ago, I had a record crate here that I could rest my feet on, but I can't do that anymore because I moved the crate.
Yeah. So that's kind of the longer story to how we got these chairs.
Very nice.
Well, if we
love a
ever-
good story.
If we ever change our name to Footrest and people start giving us footrest, we'll make sure to send a couple your way.
Yeah.
Right? Ottoman. Change it to Ottoman.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And that being said, if you ever come across some nice Chesterfields on Marketplace, let us know.
Okay.
I'll hit you up 100%, dude.
For
I
sure.
thought you were selling and not buying.
Well, you know,
It's
it's kind
kinda-
of like a buy and sell.
Yeah.
Give them to us, we can offload them somewhere.
Hey, well, dude, you could like, you know, even if you just buy one for like $10 and then you guys autograph underneath it, autograph and date it, and then there you just up the value of it and sell it for like $1,000 a pop.
That's a good
I like
idea.
that idea.
We could
yeah.
brand a mouse and stick it in the couch.
Oh,
Chesterfield branded mice.
Oh no, we're humane.
interesting ideas for
Actually, these
sure.
guys all work for PETA, so
Yeah, we've had a couple interesting business ideas. We've thought about making a Chesterfield OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Oh, do it. I
Yeah.
say do it and just like always just show your feet, man. That's all you need.
But we were thinking, guess who's who? Of like just crotch shots.
Yeah. We were thinking
Yeah.
about doing the $1,000 join up fee though.
yeah, like
Yeah, like it's not cheap.
match the face with the junk kind of deal,
Yeah.
you know?
What about you could even do something similar to that on like a Patreon account?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or a GoFundMe even.
No GoFundMes.
For my OnlyFans.
Yeah, fund my OnlyFans.
And our other idea was the miracle whip and slide.
The whip and slide.
Oh yeah, and this is
that-
something
tell
that's
me more.
actually gonna happen,
it's actually
Yeah.
Glenn Safari's idea.
yeah.
But we're gonna set up a couple really big slip and slide runs, right? We're gonna find, I don't know, probably down near the Broadway Bridge, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere with like a slope,
Yeah.
nice slope.
And we're gonna basically race Miracle Whip versus mayonnaise. We're gonna have two different slip and slides and see what one goes faster. And so we're gonna have a bunch of people just donate their Miracle Whip and whip and slide. and their
Dude, you could take bets.
Mayonnaise.
You
Definitely,
take
kinda like the
bets
horse
on
races.
what the winner is going to be, and then you can make a few bucks at it, right?
I'm betting on
Definitely.
mayonnaise.
No, I'm Miracle Whip all the way, dude.
How is Miracle Whip made?
Who cares? It's fucking a
Hey, man,
tangy
it's all
zip.
about- it's all
Nothing
about the
makes a
density.
sandwich like Miracle Whip.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, it's about the slip and slide. Who's gonna win?
I think
think
it's
it's-
Miracle Whip because of the charisma.
And the tangy zip, right? The zip is the speed.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
is that how it is? Nothing's got a tangy zip like Miracle Whip, or some shit like that, or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my money's on Miracle Whip, man. Count me in. Actually, you know what? Those all sound like fucking awesome music videos.
yeah.
Yeah.
Each one of those ideas, like you could do the guess who's who of the crotch shots for a video, and then you could do the What's the slip and slide one called again?
The Miracle Whip and Slide.
The Miracle Whip and Slide. That could be a music video.
And we'd probably,
Hell yeah,
for the
man.
Miracle Whip and Slide, we'd probably put it to like a really like serious song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And
Yes.
just like throwing mayonnaise in slow motion.
Oh yeah, that's another thing we did. So we made a mayonnaise. We emptied out an egg so you can poke a little hole in it and kind of blow the egg out, and we filled it with
Right.
mayonnaise. We spent all summer looking at it. We have a foosball table by our fire pit, but then a bird ate it. We were like, what are we gonna throw this at? But then nothing.
Yeah,
nothing came of
we
it.
were actually thinking of throwing it at that house when we were originally moving into this house. There was another house, and it was like kind of like across the way, and they were just dead eyeing us the whole damn time, and
Well,
we're
they
like,
came out and yelled at us.
Yeah.
like,
They did not want us to move in.
yeah,
And we both got flat tires with nails in them right after.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they
So
like
we think
sliced
when we were
Interesting.
in the house, he came and put nails like so when we would drive, they would stab in. And I think it was the same tire too.
yeah.
So
Well,
like, that's too coincidental.
it was a nice enough house we were moving into, but like you could tell, like back to the neighbors thing, those were not the neighbors for us. Like
Mhm.
everybody was just stuck up, it looked like, at least from their point of view, and everybody had just nice supreme things, and it was like kind of like a not the neighborhood we wanted to be in.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you hear about it in the news,
Somebody-
probably,
The mayonnaise.
probably us.
I'm telling you.
Right? Cut that out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll cut it out. Like you can always like maybe like edit it like 10 years in the future if this does happen. Just like go back into this video and just snip it out. No, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Freaking rights. I always wanted to, yeah, you know those little tools. Okay, you know in a tire where you pump the air in and it has that valve, right?
Yep.
That you can have to push on. Like, and they screw in, right? You
Yep.
ever see those little tools? It's like a little screwdriver, how you get
Oh,
that
yeah.
valve in there.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Yeah,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
as do I. And I've always just wanted somebody to piss me off enough where I go and I just loosen it enough so there's a slow leak in the
Yeah.
tire, but there's never a hole. So they're constantly checking their tire all the time and like having to spend all that. That's my little revenge
And
play.
filling it up and then end up
Yeah,
losing it.
fill it
Yeah.
up and it goes loose and then they go get it to get fixed, but there's no hole in it. So then I'll go and loosen it again. And
It's
That's one way.
diabolical.
yeah,
worked
oh
at,
dude, my revenges go deep and twisted for like,
For me,
it's a long game. When you cross me, man, it's a long game.
for
I
me,
got-
it's like I hope you step on a Lego.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Put
worked
Lego in their shoes.
there when I worked at Cal Tire. There was like I worked there for 6 months and I didn't really like it that much. But there was like a old vet mechanic who knew all the tricks, and he said what he always wanted to do is like he said you have to take a little time to do it, but you have to find the perfect piece of gravel and put it in the valve stem cap. So then like when you screw it on, that's when it starts ungoing. But then when you take it off, like because even then like once it gets fixed and they're like there's no fucking thing in here, they put the same valve stem cap back on and just right back at it. But you have to be really careful to select just the perfect piece of gravel so it's slower.
Oh, that's smart.
Genius.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of earthy
Wa-
wisdom.
watch
from
your
that
tires.
fella.
Yeah. Meh. Okay, let's go back to the recording of the album. Now, so you've got 9 tracks that you want on the album, and you guys are like in the process of doing that. What are you guys thinking for like distribution or releasing? What like where you guys are at today? What is it that you guys are doing to get that music out there once it's like ready to go?
Well, we're gonna do an early release of it on with physical copies. So we're gonna get a bunch of CDs printed up, and a couple of vinyls just for more of a novelty thing. We're probably not gonna make money back on vinyl as no one usually does, but with that we're gonna do a big release party. We've kind of had the talks about who we're going to do it with and where, but one of my favorite ideas is so Cage's old band in with the old. The 3 kind of main people from that band have since gone to start their own band. So Cage is in Chesterfield, Jackson is in the local group, and Ellen Fraze and the Hot Toddies. So we're thinking about an album release party that kind of brings all three of those bands back together, and it would be our album release party. So us and the local group and Ellen Fraze and the Hot Toddies, and then after a month or two of the physical copies, then we're just going to do a full release of the album. I guess I should say, when we release the physical copy, we're also going to release another single off the album, just to have something online.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the CD Baby distro,
Yeah.
because the online distro plan, it's pretty good and it's affordable.
Yeah.
It is cheap, hey?
And it collects all your royalties. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I guess the business thing is getting all these songs onto the SoCan website and getting all that figured out too.
Yeah. But we already kind of got our eyes set on the second album. We made a whole second album of songs ready to go too.
And we're writing for the third already.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
we
hell
just-
yeah, you guys.
Just this week, Cordell and I wrote like 2.5 songs.
Yeah.
It's just I think the thing is that we're at the end of the school term. We're coming up to finals here, so it's the last push of assignments. So our brains are really creative for essays and stuff. So on our breaks, we pick up a guitar and start writing again. Just taking that energy, focusing it elsewhere. And it's funny because it's like more work, but it's like work that you enjoy.
Yep.
So it's like,
It's a great way to procrastinate.
yeah. I think that is the biggest part.
It's way better than
For
cleaning
me.
the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my other way to procrastinate, is just to clean.
Yeah. But our whole approach to recorded material is a bit more unconventional than most bands. Like, for us, we've been kind of a band. I mean, if we subtract COVID from the equation, like, we've been a band for about a year and a half, right? And by this time, like, virtually every other band kind of in our standing has released an EP or something, but all we have out is a couple live videos and a single. So, but that was kind of more or less by design, because we wanted to really hype up the album first, like, through live. So right now we're just kind of approaching it a bit more old fashioned, where we're building up hype, building up word of mouth, and kind of getting a fan base before we have the music, just so when the album pops, it's like going to be a more kind of significant thing. So, like, what our objective was we wanted most people in the Saskatoon music industry to hear about us before we ever had an album, so we could kind of have a bit of the mystery and get people out to see us live, because that's like, we like being on the recording, but I mean, as any musician will tell you, like, live is where it happens, right? Like,
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where they want to be. So that's really what we wanted people's first impressions to be of us, was like in a live setting. And we got a single out and we got an official music video, but all our other stuff online is just live versions of us playing.
Yeah, and we don't even have all that.
And our
much.
Instagram presence is just like funny, like, because we live together, we can like take pictures and videos whenever. So it's like pretty just anecdotal life stuff, which I think really also helps the fan base, because it's like, oh, we're your buds,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
shows like that you're real people, that you're
That's
Like,
what
we're
social
just-
media is for, I think.
Yeah.
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 One other really nice thing about not having anything released is when we do play, like, before we go on stage, we have people coming up like, oh, can you do this song tonight? Oh, I really like this one. So that's really nice, like, to even hear these recurring, like, yeah, there's a lot of likes for this song and that one. So let's make sure we do that and make sure it's on the album when it comes out. And
Yeah, and like disappointed when we don't play one song.
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
yeah, I love the show, but I wish you would have played that one song about the cats.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We even get disappointed when we leave out one of the songs, because I think we all really enjoy the music that we make as well. Like, that's one thing I'm looking forward to, is actually just listening to how everything sounds produced and at the end of the deal, because we're always listening to live recordings and all that, but it'd be nice to listen to what we've got too.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. We're trying to record like every show we do, like get a soundboard recording, and that's been really nice. And it's also cool because like my favorite band is Ween, and they've also done the same thing from the start, have recorded every show. So it's cool. There's all kinds of like
Bootlegs.
yeah, bootlegs of like, oh yeah, this one show in 1994 in like just
Yep.
this random place.
And it was kind of the same thing with the Grateful Dead. too.
Yeah.
Of every show that Grateful Dead has ever played, there's only been one that there isn't a surviving recording for. One show in 1970.
Really?
Like
Yeah.
super cool too, because like if like you're a big deadhead like I am, like I'm always like, you know, on my birthday I'll go on listen to like what they would have played on my birthday, like say like 1973. 'cause
Right.
they- a recording from every single day, like the 356, 57 days in the year. There's like a recording for every single day from some year at least. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And then kind of the
Cool.
idea with that I've had is taking those bootlegs and putting just like a couple of the songs onto flash drives, and just having like a shoebox of flash drives where you pay like $5 and you get these like 5 random, like you don't know what's on it. So it could be some like random demos that we have recorded that we've never played live, or this
yeah.
from this show where, you know, it was like a really good recording that time, or maybe you'll get a shit one where it's like, yeah, here's some like really bad basement jams.
Here's the
Yeah.
hour and a half that Cordell left his phone on record. Oh, like that one
I
time,
think
the cracked tab, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, he accidentally he left
Yeah.
his
Oh,
phone
yeah.
on record
This is
for
a-
one of these parties, and we were all just hanging out, being experimental and whatnot. But you know, he left his phone on record in his pocket,
For the
and
jam.
and then he got this brilliant idea to start to screw with us. So he went and we had a full flat of Pilsner.
Yeah, we just played a show, and so like it was actually the first time we got paid, so like ever for our music. And so
Right.
we bought a
So we
flat
bought the
to
flat
celebrate
as a reward.
breaking money or whatever.
Yeah, and then he would just like kind of like, you know, when you crack a beer and then there's like that halfway point that some little kids drink crush out of, like when you crack it halfway and they'll just drink it straight out of the top.
Yeah, like the tab's still like, you know, the can is for all intents and purposes closed, but the seal is broken.
Yeah.
Right.
So he'd go and he'd just like kind of like half pin a beer and just leave it in places. And
Left it in the box.
yeah, and they were all over the house, and it's like, and he was making all of us trip out thinking that we had like just left like a half pin beer somewhere, or like, and then we were all kind of like turning on each other, right? It's like what the hell is happening, man? It's you who did it, and I know you're lying. And then like,
No one suspected me at all.
yeah, and it got to the point where I was the main suspect, and
Like, well, maybe it's a faulty beer case. Maybe like something about the change of pressure from going from like the fridge in the cooler to
Yeah.
our
Oh,
counter.
It's
and
like,
they
yeah, maybe we
thinned,
should
or-
not be drinking these
Yeah.
as we're drinking them. Yeah.
well, because like I was in chemistry too, so I'm like thinking like, oh, what are the possibilities of like, you know, like the temperature and like the different I don't know,
And
the
that,
atmospheric pressure and all that shit.
and that's when we thought he was lying and he was doing it, because we're like, that's bullshit. No, you're the one doing it.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. And you were recording the whole thing.
he
Yeah, just,
recorded
like,
in
I
his
didn't
pocket.
realize until the next day when I was like checking like the jam, and I'm like, oh, they're like, this is and then I would listen to the whole thing, and we got like a good chunk of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like pretty well all the, like the whole thing of like, because there was a whole kitchen discussion where everyone was standing in the kitchen. We're like, okay, we're gonna figure this out.
Yeah, we had a summit. And we're like, okay, yeah.
and they all pointed at me, and like I felt like, what the hell, because like I'm usually the guy pulling pranks, and I'm like usually like screwing around with these guys all the time, but like I'm like trying to like dig myself out of something that I didn't do, and I'm like I'm feeling guilty like I did it, because like they're all pointing at me. I'm like, I
You're
swear
starting to think that maybe you did do it.
maybe I did do it. Like you know, like I don't remember where I last put my last beer. Like there's half open beers all over the house. I'm not too sure. But yeah, and then I don't know, like we were all like, he brought up like a super serious conversation, and like in the middle of it, he's just like, yeah, and I did it. And then we're all like, what? Like what? And then, like it was like the craziest drop off of intensity. We're just like, what? You did it, you fucking asshole. Yeah, that's kind of the thing though. We play and like we make each other believe things, and then you always got to let them in when they're like at the most vulnerable stage. That's when you let them in
We
on the
basically
joke.
gaslight each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a prank.
It's like we had our one buddy convinced that we took a class called Teeth 106. And
Yeah.
it's about like everything. It's about like philosophy and biology and like all sorts of
teeth.
stuff. And teeth. It's Teeth 106.
Yeah.
And we had him convinced for a straight like 2 months.
I
Took it.
I actually got another one. I think it's time.
I was just on
Yeah.
that white mind wave. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. One of these guys sitting in this line hasn't been let in on one of these jokes that we've been going on. So we figured this is kind of like a good time.
Over a year.
It's
Oh,
over.
yes.
There's a video actually on our Instagram. If you take a look, I'm repairing a trumpet, and
So basically, yeah.
well, like at the time, Eric, the big spoon man over here, was working at Long and McQuaid, and we convinced him the whole time that it was a rental trumpet that we were trying to fix, but it was actually just one that we picked up at like that
A free
pickup.
pile.
Yeah, the free pile.
Yeah.
It was just a bent up trumpet, and I made a video making it look like I was trying to fix it.
Yeah, so this trumpet, like it was there's no way it would get fixed, right? So I brought it back just because it's like a trumpet, and we have like cool little musical stuff everywhere. And Justin's like, well, I'm gonna fix it, and he starts hammering it on a pallet, and he's like, just with a metal hammer, and he's just like obviously just flattening it, making it worse. He's like, yeah, you gotta round this out, and so then later we like put it in the dirt like a flower, right? And that's it. And then Eric comes over, he's like, where'd you guys get that horn? And we got him.
I was a trumpet player in high school, so I was like, oh yeah. So I rented a trumpet, but it had like this ding in it. So Justin was gonna try to get this ding out, but it ended up like this. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's a rental. I was like, maybe we could say it's stolen because like I paid the $4 for the like theft protection fee. So I was like, if I just say it was stolen, like it should be fine, right? And he's like freaking out because he's a Long and McQuaid employee.
So what do you think of this now that we've let you in on the story?
Well, I've suffered a lot of mental anguish as a result of this experience. I saw this poor trumpet turned into a common garden flower, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I wept and laughed and cried. And you guys told me you're still paying, you're like $8 a month for this flower. I guess that's not the case.
Yeah. Guess the truth comes out sometimes.
Yeah,
Eh?
that's all right.
That's gonna be
Right
like
when
we
you're the
talked about
most
it.
vulnerable.
We literally talked to him about it last week, and I told him I was still paying for it.
But that's just one of the many like long form pranks we got going on. I'm sure everyone is under some kind of impression right now that is some sort of
So when did you rent this trumpet then?
Yeah, how long has this been going on for?
Yeah.
It's over a year.
18 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Actually,
It was
if you
pretty close to when we moved in, so that we moved in May 2020, so it was around then.
Yeah. Yeah, just if you look on Instagram and you find that video of me repairing the trumpet, that's right around the time,
I
because
posted it that
and
day.
he let
We
him
were
in
just,
on
like,
it.
gearing up for like a fire pit party that night. So we were like chopping, we just burned pallets, that'd be fine. So we were like chopping up pallets, and then Justin like found this trumpet that Cordell brought, and then the rest is history.
Gave her a little repair. I'm like, yo, turn the camera on.
And you can like hear the fire crackling in the background.
It says July 5th, 2020.
okay.
Yeah.
July 5th. Okay, so a little bit more than a year.
What's your guys' thoughts? The music video that you guys have out, can I end the episode with that music video?
Absolutely.
for
I think
sure.
that'd be good.
We can
Yeah.
send you a final edit of it if that's easier for you.
Hell yeah, man. That's fucking funny. I'm gonna start doing shit like that to you now.
It's so fun.
It's all about the long form subtlety of it.
Yeah.
We're just like practicing on how to lie.
Yeah, really.
It's good.
Oh man. And that one game, what's that game again? Among Us?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
We went
that
through a
That's
phase
where it
of
really
that.
came
That's
to a head
where,
is when we
like,
got really into Among
yeah,
Us. Yeah.
you can really figure out like
Do you guys all play like together at the same time?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
same
yeah,
room.
but
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually when we get like a big party, it was like the optimum number, like 6 or like 9 or something
yeah.
like that, 8 or
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the nice things about this house too, is we don't have a TV in the living room.
Other than right
So,
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got one up to do this, but it's nice because like if we're in here, we're hanging out, we're talking, we're playing guitars, we're it's weird. Like I grew up like I was born 98, so I grew up very much like in the technological age. And I remember like I would watch Friends as a young teen and be like, man, that would be so cool just to like sit in a room and talk. Because anytime you'd hang out with people, you'd be on your phones or watching TV or
Yeah.
whatever. So that was one thing moving into this house. Like we all agreed, no TV in the living room, and it's like now that dream has come to fruition. Like
Yeah.
Tuition.
actual human
Interaction.
interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
think
now
that's
that TV is there, is it gonna stay?
No.
Okay.
No, this is the downstairs TV. We got a little place called the Location. I think I kind of want to call it the Situation. It's just like a little cutaway in our basement. You just like wedge a TV and a couch down there. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's a nice little cozy nook. So it's like, 2 or 3 people can sit and watch a movie. So,
Yeah.
if any of us just of the house people do, but like it's the size is preventative of, like a bigger group
Mhm.
Right.
around it.
Yeah.
Man, I think that's such a good idea.
Mhm.
Just for like what you guys are doing and how you're doing it. I think that just it's just a whole other freaking layer of inspiration that you can draw from. Like you're living your lives as opposed to virtually, like on social media or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm getting at?
Totally.
And I don't hear of that happening at all. Like you guys are the first ones I know who are open about doing that, where everyone else is like, how can I get my content out there on social media and get views and clicks and all this stuff? Do you know what I mean? So I commend you guys for doing that. And I highly want you to keep doing what you're doing. I think it's huge for sure. Just all the ideas you guys have spoken about this episode they're all genius. They're all brilliant. And I think if you follow through with them, I think it's going to pan out for you.
And I don't think you would have came up with those ideas if you were stuck to your phone
Yeah.
all day.
There's no way. There's no way that any of that would have happened.
Yeah.
Thanks, fellas. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Yeah,
I
like,
definitely
we're-
commend you guys.
Yeah, we're
That's-
definitely super in on the organic kind of growth, like making it all organically and just showing who we are, like and because like obviously like at the end of the day it is about the music, but when we can show the context to where the music comes from and our ideas, that's really what we like.
I'm so grateful that I ran into you guys at the Cap that night. Like even like as brief and quick as we got to talk, man, like you made it easy. Like you were an open person to be able to go up to and just say, hey, what's up? Like you weren't a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
That's what we aim for.
Yeah.
that was it was huge, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of like the big mentality of Chesterfield is like we said, we started in basement jams of 13 people. Like from the get-go, it's been just friends hanging out, doing our thing. And that's like Chesterfield. Like what is a Chesterfield to you? It's like to us, it's sitting with our buds and like having fun, interacting and making jokes all night long. And yeah, it's supposed to be like my vision of the band is like I want our fans to see it as like those 90s basement hangouts.
Right.
Yep.
I want them to get that vibe on stage, on our like social media presence, like because that's ultimately what we do.
Yeah.
And the campfires.
Yeah.
I want to come. I want to be invited to one of those
Oh, hell
frickin'
yeah.
campfire parties.
When
Yeah.
the summer comes, we'll make sure to give you guys a call for sure.
The couches are
Hell
open.
yeah. But I just want to look up here one more thing. And then I think I'm going to let you guys go. Okay. So yes, I wanted to make sure I get the name of the song right here. So for those of you listening and at home, thank you for tuning in. And we will be ending this episode with Morning in the Midday, the official music video from Chesterfield. Thanks, you guys. We appreciate the shit out of you. Welcome to the family. You are part of the Moose family now. So anytime you guys want to come on and just hang out with us, promote whatever it is you're doing, or just come and chill out, hit us up, man. We'd be more than happy to have you guys back on.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
so
so
much.
much for having us.
Hell yeah.
Next time we're on, maybe we'll give you guys some Chesterverse names too. Bring you guys into the Chesterverse.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, dude. Yes, I would
Well,
love
you guys
that.
will actually have to come hang out in person, I think, for that
Yeah, I
one.
think so.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Agreed.
Right on. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah.
Morning in the midday, take 7.
Boy, you're on the dark side of the road, with more head than you may ever know. The morning in the middle of the day, one step outside to stop and turn away. Said, son, you better learn to let the small things go. There's more to fire than getting burned. If you look too deep inside, I swear you won't return. Just keep the promise that you've earned without concern. When smiles they show, you say you don't know how to turn the page and leave the stage. These things they won't allow. Said, son, you better learn to let the small things go. There's more to fire than getting burned. If you look too deep inside, I swear you won't return. Just keep the promise that you've earned without concern.